we're going to create our tree drawing for our assignment. And you're going to need a bowl or a circle, a ruler, pencil, markers, and coloring pencil. So I have this. It's just a bowl. So I'm going to use it. And I'm going to go about the upper part of my paper. And I am going to trace this. To create the circle for my tree. So this is where my branches are going to be. I know it's not an organic shape, but this is what I want. So then I'm going to take my ruler just to kind of create, well, actually I want to freehand this one. And I'm going to very lightly draw my ground line. And that being said, that I know that that is where my horizon is, and I'm going to start my tree. So I'm going to start here, curve down, and I'm going to start here and curve down. And so now I'm just going to make some V's. To create my trees. Let's make this one kind of large. Now you can have all of your branches touching to the edge of your circle if you want to. I didn't want to, and I'm going to leave it like that. Now I am going to erase this line because that is going not to be needed. And I'm going to erase this line that's right here. Okay, so now I know that this is my horizon line. If you want yours a straight line, you can use your ruler. Now, earlier in class, I did say that you needed a ruler or something that was a straight 1 inch wide. Most rulers are typically 1 inch wide here. And so what we're just going to do, we're not even going to measure. What we're going to do is we are going to take our ruler, lay it flat, make sure that the edge of our ruler lines up, and we're going to draw a line going across. Going to do the same. This time we're going to line up with the line that we just drew and the edge of our paper and draw a line. Line up the edge, and we are going to draw the line. And I'm going to continue this until I get to the bottom of my paper. Now I do have a slight space at the bottom, and you can see that my lines aren't perfectly straight, but they are pretty straight and they are pretty equal distance. Now if we were to go ahead and measure these lines and tick them off at 1 inch each time, we would get a better and straighter line. However, I wasn't going to worry about this session. We will in a later project, probably will do so. So now we're going to make our project into squares. And what we're going to do is this time we're going to line up our ruler, the entire back edge with the edge of our paper. Hold it down. You might need to press in the middle or hold your hand like this. And we're going to draw a line going across. We're going to line our ruler up to this line. Draw our line. And we're going to continue all the way across, just like this. And so now you can see that we have our grid shape all the way across. And we're not going to redraw these lines with a Sharpie. However, like my horizon line, I will go over with a Sharpie. and I'll go over my tree line. Oh, I changed the tree slightly. I'm going to draw kind of a zigzag shape there to kind of show where the roots of my tree is. And as I'm going in, I've kind of decided that I want to change up a couple of my branches, which is fine. But just know that later on, you do need to make sure that you just erase only those lines. Oh, I messed up by not tracing that line. Now you can go in and color your tree trunk with the black Sharpie or a black marker. Or you can create lines in it and just draw patterns. It is up to you, but I am mostly focused on the color of this project. And I am going to go in and I'm going to trace my circle as best as I can without tracing the bowl. And I've gone over, but it's okay. And there we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in and I'm going to erase the lines that I drew here from my tree branch that I did not trace over. And I'm going to go get a black Sharpie, a black marker and color in my tree trunk. So now I've gone in and I've colored in my tree trunk black. You can use the Sharpie if you need to. I went in with a black marker because my Sharpie was dying and I knew that it did not have enough ink. So now what we're going to do is we're going to color your tree. Now, if you remember in class, this is why I had you pick out reference photos for this. So you could decide whether you wanted a warm color tree or a cool color tree. And for my picture, I actually want to do a warm color sky, so like a sunset, and I wanted to do a cool color tree. So I'm going to get out my greens, and maybe a couple of my blues. Now, if I had a pack of coloring pencils that had like more varieties of colors, let's see. I've got another pack, so maybe I can find some more greens and colors. So I have these 4 colors of green, and I've got a greenish blue. So I'm going to try and use that. So I'm going to go ahead and color in the shapes that create my leaves and my ground, because it's going to be the same cool color. Now, make sure that you don't have 2 of the same colors sitting directly next to each other. So if I colored this one, this color green within the circle, and I need to stay within that circle, then I need to pick a different color green here for right next to this tree trunk. And I can use this same color here because it's not directly next to that green. Stay within that square shape. So I'm going to pause the video so I can go off screen, and I'm going to finish coloring in my tree and my ground. So I wanted to talk about the fact that sometimes your square is kind of obstructed maybe by a branch, or maybe there's 2 branches within that square. Trying to keep in line with the square, you need to make sure that entire square stays one color. So like this branch is the same, or this square is the same part of this one. So I'm going to go in and color this. Now, sometimes you can create a different value of a shade. If you remember in our shading lesson, same coloring pencil, but the amount of pressure that I apply does make it appear to be lighter. So if you happen to not have more than one pack of coloring pencil, or a pack of coloring pencil that only has 12 instead of 24, you can kind of create some different values of that. But this one is a little too close, so I'm going to go in and make this a little darker. Actually, that was a different coloring pencil. It just looks too close. And so I'm going to continue. So now I have finished coloring in my ground with blue. Well, I know you can't really tell, but this is actually a blue. It's a bluish green, and some of it is in the trees as well. So now I'm going to go in and actually color my sky with some pink, orange, yellow, and red. So you're going to continue your picture. So I have like a sunset sky. You're going to continue on until all of your squares are completed. And there you have your cool, warm, cool color mosaic tree.